If I were to create a tier list of FPS games based solely on just how much pure fun I got out of them, then Battlefield Bad Company 2 would undeniably be in the S tier. While I think other Battlefield games did many things better than Bad Company 2, as far as overall enjoyment while playing, Bad Company 2 is almost unbeatable even to this day. Which is honestly kind of weird, because on paper, Bad Company 2 just sounds like an extremely watered down version of a standard Battlefield game. No jets, no pro, no commander, conquest, almost being treated like an afterthought game mode, 32 players only on PC, smaller maps, and changes to the weapon customization and specializations all make Bad Company 2 a pretty unique entry to the long-standing series. However, even with all those stripped-down mechanics and features, it still holds up as one of the best entries within the entire franchise, and in this video I discuss why I think that is, in my humble opinion. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by leaving a like and subscribing for more Battlefield content. Here are 5 things in no particular order that made Bad Company 2 so awesome. Number 5, map design. Let's start off with the big one, and really the one that drives so many of the other items on this list: stellar map design and flow. Nothing has made it more clear to me just how critical solid map design is to the Battlefield franchise than the latest entry and its recent first season. Playing the new map Exposure on Battlefield 2042 is a night and day difference in overall enjoyment, flow, and player agency when compared to the base maps. And in turn, the horrendous quality of almost every base map in 2042 has greatly added to the awfulness of its gameplay. Bad Company 2 features tightly designed and executed maps that guides players constantly towards the thick of the action. Granted, they are much smaller in scope and size than other maps found in the series, which has its pros and cons, but I think here it just really reinforces so many of the gameplay elements of Bad Company 2 in positive ways. I'm not saying they're all bangers or perfectly designed, but so many of them are just an absolute joy to play, with standouts that are some of the best in the entire series. The map selection also features a huge variety of locales and environments: snow, deserts, jungles, it's all pretty much here. The variety of buildings, foliage, and environmental details such as a frozen river, a rocky outcropping, and a wall of rubble can make the difference between victory and defeat, driving movement-based decision-making and mad scrambles to stay aggressive. All of this design is reinforced and hugely influenced by the next thing that made Bad Company 2 awesome. Number 4, destruction. Ask anybody that's played Bad Company 2 what they enjoyed most about it, and the answer will almost certainly be the ability to roleplay as the Kool-Aid Man and blast through any wall with ease. Oh, the destruction. Need to create a path? Blow it open. Need to flush out that pesky sniper? Bring down the building that he's in. The impact that destruction had on the fun that this game brought cannot be understated, and the effect that it's had has continued through each entry since this one, to varying degrees of success. While technically more advanced or detailed, the destruction in later Battlefield titles just never felt quite as impactful as it did within Bad Company 2, and that is because every building on the map could be brought down to nothing, and the ends of rounds are a sight to see, as what was once a small town or village is now just one big pile of rubble. Granted, they achieved this by using a lot of the same cookie-cutter building layouts, but it was still so revolutionary for me coming into Bad Company 2 from other shooters, and honestly, the destruction set this game apart as something truly special. The developers were all too happy to show off their tech, with lots of weapons capable of blasting apart almost anything, and some of the most explosive and devastating frag grenades I've ever seen in a video game. The ability to destroy almost anything, clearing trees, walls, and more out of your way as you aggressively pushed forwards, added so much to the next item on my list that made Bad Company 2 incredible. Number 3, Rush. A carryover from Bad Company 1, changed from Gold Rush, Rush was the star of the show in Bad Company 2 and the clear primary game mode within the game. Almost every map in the game was designed from the ground up to accommodate this game mode, and it honestly just reinforces my first point for excellent map design. This was a game with a specific vision in mind, and the developers were singular in pursuing this vision. As a result, we see some of the tightest, focused, and most chaotic and intense gameplay within the entire series in Rush in this game. Defending is a barrage of explosions and bullets as you desperately fight to keep attackers off the objectives, while attacking is a bloody assault to plant and defend the bombs necessary to capture the objectives. While I think Battlefield 3 had some really great Rush gameplay, and operations in Battlefield 1 is also something special, using so many ingredients from this game mode, the Bad Company 2 version is still unparalleled and just absolutely awesome. I put hundreds and hundreds of hours into Bad Company 2, and honestly, I don't remember playing Conquest much at all. Rush was just that good. The intensity was heightened by the next item in the list. Number 2, sound design. Honestly, Bad Company 2 is probably the first time I really noticed sound design in an FPS game. Sure, there were always great soundtracks and sound effects in past games, but this game set a new standard for me and established DICE as one of the most premier studios for video game sound design. Playing with headphones with the war tape setting is still an incredible experience, as everything in the game just sounds huge. Weapons are chunky and powerful. Explosions rock through you, tanks and helicopters crush and punch through debris and fire deadly munitions. It's all just mwah. amazing. The sound design helps so much to further differentiate this game from the competition and establish it as an absolutely chaotic realization of modern combat. All of this, in my opinion, was helped by the last item on my list, number 1, simplicity. While it didn't really feel so at the time, looking back at Bad Company 2, so many of the game's core elements and systems were just beautifully simple and streamlined, which I know is controversial for some of the older fans coming from the more complex and complicated games of the past, and this isn't downplaying how much work actually went into the game, but compared to other shooters, especially modern ones with so many attachments, specializations, vehicles, features, add-ons, DLCs, battle passes, and just so much of everything, the simplicity of Bad Company 2's design shines for me. Sure, on paper, Bad Company 2 could be seen as a downgrade in many ways. You have less classes and players from Battlefield 2, smaller maps, for example, but in practice, it just works so well in the game's favor to generate pure fun. Smaller teams and squads forced more teamwork. Tighter map design resulted in more intense moments, and less attachments, weapons, and gadgets gave each one its own distinct role on the battlefield. Overall, the streamlining of so many systems allowed the core of the game to shine, and it was just straightforward, pure fun. And it just felt really polished. Now, it wasn't perfect, and I appreciated so many things that other games did better. Magnum ammo was stupid, movement is dated with no strafing, and destruction, while awesome, could result in really frustrating moments, especially when attacking and you just had no cover. But Bad Company 2 is truly greater than the sum of its parts, and remains a masterpiece and high point of the series even in 2022. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on Bad Company 2 below, as there's a lot I didn't even touch on here, including the excellent Vietnam expansion, but that's it for me. Until next time.